crazy to know that, like, I mean, she was in a group of girls who I really liked at the time too. I was like, yo, them hot.
Insane to realize that, she was in a gathering of young ladies who I truly preferred at the time, too. I resembled you them music hot in the hurricane universe of big name sentiments and thrilling stories. One talk has undauntedly gripped to the titles, the supposed mystery sentiment between worldwide whiz Beyonce and Jamaican sensation Sean Paul. It was during the arrival of their singing 2003 hit Child Kid that hypothesis arrived at breaking point, the music video overflowing with science. C set the rumor mills in motion, and fans pondering was there more to their coordinated effort than meets the applause. I fanning the discharge, an electrifying case recommends that there is no more fearsome beast than like a darling disdained with Jay-Z, perhaps typifying this proverb following the public defeat tales twirling around Beyonce and Sean Paul's alleged covert relationship. Yet what's the genuine story behind these murmurs? Was there ever a mystery sentiment among Beyonce and Sean Paul, or is this simply one more section in the ceaseless book of VIP tattle? Stay tuned as we take apart the effective reports in the captivating yet frequently unforgiving universe of diversion. The story starts in 2003, the time of Child Kid. At the time, Beyonce was at that point dating now her significant other anyway. Her hot cooperation with Sean Paul lighted tales that their relationship was something other than proficient. The science between them in the music video was unquestionable, starting fans' interest and making tongues sway. Beyonce is doing her own solo collection, and I had a valuable chance to get on it. I hopped on it. I resembled definitely, certainly in a 2022 meeting with the day-to-day monster Sean Paul, looked to put any misinformation to rest solidly, denying any heartfelt contribution with Beyonce during the production of Child Kid. He accentuated his reverence for her music and magnificence, communicating his fervor at the chance to work together. Nah, I wish I did, she delightful. He X at this point, regardless of Sean Paul's disavowal, a sad remnant of uncertainty lingered over their joint effort. Beyonce herself appeared to be annoyed by the persevering tales. The temperature started to rise when she defied Shay Paul behind the stage at the MTV Europe Music Grants in November 2003. In a real-to-life second, she pulled him to the side, requesting replies about the tattle that took steps to discolor her vocation. Enormous up to beyond, she told me to that, you realize gossip, follow and thing, and we all cover our head in the work. Sean Paul described the showdown, uncovering that Beyonce was pissed and needed to know reality with regards to the bits of gossip. He reviewed his reaction. I'm not expressing what while keeping up with his honesty didn't appear to fulfill sovereign base. She communicated her dissatisfaction, expressing these reports with my profession. I simply maintain that you should realize that as the murmurs developed stronger, it created the impression and that Beyonce and Sean Paul's functioning relationship was not resistant to the turbulent reports. An episode at the MTV Video Music Grants in 2003 added one more layer of interest. Sean Paul guaranteed he was mysteriously cut from an arranged presentation of Child Kid at the last sitting in the crowd with his then spouse. Sean Paul encountered a humiliating second as Beyonce plunged the steps, belting out the tunes versus Paris Hilton, surprisingly went to Sean Paul and inquired as to, for what reason aren't you up there? The ungainliness of the circumstance was obvious, and it energized further hypothesis about the supposed quarrel in the background. I'm staying here conversing with. So she resembled, you realize reports follow me as of now a ton, and we need to manage it. Yet the show didn't stop there. Sean Paul uncovered that unusual things started to occur during their exhibitions of Child Kid. While it was unimaginable for Jay-Z to be genuinely answerable for these disasters, the sound and stage gives that plague. Their shows took care of the gossip plant. Sean Paul's mouthpiece inconveniences and baffling sound errors left the two craftsmen perplexed. One execution in Scotland stood apart as especially odd. During the version of Child Kid, Sean Paul part unexpectedly went quiet with the track rehashing the expression "Child Kid, you stay." He was unable to comprehend what was occurring and reviewed the disarray behind the stage as his own band communicated their disappointment with. He specialized challenges all through the years. Sean Paul has kept a political position while examining the supposed quarrel and heartfelt tales. He recognized that he attempted to protect himself during interviews, making sense of that peculiar things occurred during their exhibitions anyway. He underscored the speculative idea of these remarks, frequently saying that is presumably why there were tales while he might have reduced most, if not all, connection with straightforwardly blaming Jay-Z for arranging the sound issues. Sean Paul's remarks indicated a bigger story. The world couldn't resist the opportunity to puzzle over whether Jay-Z's envy could play, had an influence in the secretive events in front of an audience, as the spotlight stayed fixed on Beyonce and Sean Paul. One more layer of interest arose with disclosures about Jay-Z's own treachery. Past profoundly private tune, Hold Up alluded to a grieved relationship and a faithless accomplice. The verses "something don't feel right since it ain't correct" caught the embodiment of her doubts, while the line "I smell your mysteries" highlighted her quest for reality. The world couldn't resist the opportunity to hypothesize whether Jay-Z's reputed desire over Beyonce and Sean Paul's joint effort could have been his very own appearance responsibility. The disentangling circle of drama between Beyonce, Paul, and Jay-Z just extended the secret and dramatization as the residue chose the violent adventure of Child Kid, One Truth State. Yeed evident the tune was a great achievement. It spent half a month at #1 on the US announcement Hot 100 graph, pushing both Beyonce and Sean Paul higher than ever, of distinction in spite of the discussions and tales that encompassed its creation. Child Kid had carved its put in music history in 9 weeks. On the bulletin diagram is one of my greatest melodies at the time. It resembled "You Realize the Greatest Thing I Could Possibly Do" got me a ton. The tradition of Child Kid keeps on. Entrance all music devotees and VIP tattle enthusiasts the same, while Sean Paul's new meeting endeavored to disperse the reports. The emotional history of this coordinated effort will be, for the rest of time, entwined with the tricky insider facts of media outlets as we keep on digging into the maze of bits of gossip and murmurs encompassing the confounding universe of Jay-Z and Beyonce. The lines among truth and fiction obscure into an enticing embroidery of embarrassment and interest. Clutch your caps, Pete. Since this one's a wild ride, you could recollect the eyebrow-raising charges that Jay-Z has purportedly been directing substances to be once to control everything she might do. Uncle Ron, who professes to be a previous guardian for the influence couple, dropped this stunner recently: "I know such a great amount on how you got where you are." He likewise spilled the tea on Jay-Z's supposed fixation on keeping an iron grasp on sovereign narrows, proposing that their marriage may be all the more ideal opposed to an energetic relationship. As we dig further into this arranged story, it's memorable's fundamental. The influence dynamic at life partner was only 18 when she began dating Jay-Z. Man in his 30s with an abundance of involvement with the music business. Was she genuinely in charge of her life decisions, or was she cleared up in a tornado sentiment with a seasoned veteran of hip jump? Back in those days, Jay-Z was at that point a heavyweight in the music business, entangled in furious competition ions with Nas, Horde, Profound, 50 Penny, and Cayman. Beyonce, then again, was all the while finding her balance as a youthful craftsman. Could Jay-Z's impact have molded her choices? An inquiry keeps fans estimating, yet without substantial responses we can ponder. We should not fail to remember that Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship traversed right around 10 years before they secured the bunch in 2008. The world watched in wonder as they turned into a definitive influence couple, arriving at the pinnacle of popularity and fortune. Yet, was their association really a consequence of affection